Hi everyone, Karen Danielle here today, and I am figuring out one question that I think has plagued many of us, right? Why is it that our top performers, when you take them and put them in a coveted leadership position, a leadership role, why do they not succeed? Why do they fail? And it's a question of concern, right? Because the path seems natural and correct, where you're doing really well at this job, really well, really well, really well. Okay, let's put you in charge of people who are also now going to be doing this job, and you're going to be in charge because that's your area of brilliance. You've cracked the code. I want you now to teach everyone else how to crack the code. Why doesn't that work? And the sad fact is, it doesn't really work. Rarely does it work. And here's what I wanted to tell you about why. That's what we're looking at today. As you heard during that little soliloquy that I just went off on, you're now taking that person from executing a job, executing whatever tactical ability that they have, whether it's sales or mechanics, whatever it is, and you're now putting them in charge of people who are doing that job. Huge, huge, huge difference, okay? So let's peek behind the curtain at that process, and that will reveal to us where's the gap? What are we missing? Why isn't this transition happening well? And I'll tell you why, because that transitioning is not being served, okay? So first things first, I commend you for thinking ahead of when you know you're going to have a leadership role available, you're going to have a leadership deficit and you need to fill that, or you see someone doing really, really well and you're like, you know what, leader, that person has cracked the code on sales. I want them to be in charge of my sales team. Boom, that's my problem solved. Then everyone will be awesome on my sales team, right? Okay, first thing you need to do, you need to have a conversation with that person. Are they even into it? Is that something that they want? Guess what? That's a major career path change. It is completely different. The ladder that they were on doing really well at, they're hopping ladders. They're not going up a rung. They're on a completely different ladder. They might even be on an escalator. I don't know. But that is how different the two are. So you need to get their input. It's their career. You want to be in alignment with what they want, right? So first things first, find out, are they in or are they not? Let them keep succeeding at what they do. If they love sales, just because that's my default thought that came to mind, sales performer, if they love sales, keep them in sales. If they're not interested in being a lead, keep them in sales, right? Maybe incorporate teaching their skills in a different way and keep them there. People who love doing what they love, let them love doing what they love, okay? So first thing first, are they in? Second thing, and I touched on it a little bit, that transition. So different from doing a job to being responsible for the people doing their job. It's a completely different mindset shift that they will need to make, and part of that is just happen with a conversation with you where you acknowledge to that person, hey, this is what you're going to be experiencing. You're not doing the job anymore. You are now going to be responsible for that, for the people doing the job and teaching them, right? So bringing that awareness up, that's what this new job is entailing, is another piece of the pie to decide for them to decide if they're in it or not. Okay, so mindset shift there. The third thing that you want to be mindful of during setting this person up for success rather than failure is during their time in that successful position that they had, you were doubling down on their strengths. Perfect, right? Any training that they had revolves around the job that they were doing. Makes complete sense, right? Great salesperson, let's teach them more product knowledge. Let's get them teach them how to use this software that makes their lives better, easier, faster, right? All their training before was surrounded by how they could do that job better. They most likely have not had training on how to lead people. So you need to allow for that skill gap to be filled by either getting them training on that, teaching them yourself, pointing them in the direction of a resource, of a book, whatever it may be. Don't skip over that. It's a big deal. That's what the job is, okay? And lots of times, one of the things, this is kind of a funny thing that happens. Believe it or not, top performers, when they go to lead a team of people who haven't cracked the code like they have, will lack empathy for the others. Believe it or not, that can happen. Not often, but enough that it should be noted here. And the reason they lack empathy is because they don't understand why it's so difficult for everyone else. It's easy to them. It comes naturally to them. So what comes naturally to them, they just assume everyone should come naturally to everyone else. So they may be short when they're frustrated with other team members or their direct reports because they're confused as to basically why don't you get it, okay? So allowing for empathy. That's one of the things that you would most likely need to teach them for their leadership wheelhouse, okay? Lastly, you are taking them from an executing role to a teaching role. We've touched on that many times. It's pretty much one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle where it'll lead you to success rather than failure. And in that teacher mode, when you're a teacher, again, keep getting them aware that not everyone learns the same way. Every brain is different, right? We know that from neuroscience. So every person learns a different way. Some are visual learners. I learn by doing. Let me put the numbers on a keyboard and find the thing I'm going to click, and I'll learn better that way. Okay? So there's not like a million different learning styles out there, but it's good for that person who's going to be responsible for teaching. Again, that's a new role that they know, that they're aware. So point them in that direction as well. As you can see, right, all of these things that I'm talking about that are imperative to success are pretty easily instituted through conversation with you, through a little bit of a plan, through some teamwork where you and that new leader are setting them up for success. And that way it can be a much clearer objective for them. They'll know what they're responsible for. They get it. They understand. And guess what? Everyone, when someone gets promoted from an executing position to a managing position, lots of times people are kind of hedging their bets. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to make the transition. You hear that all the time, right? Are they going to be able to make the transition? Well, set them up to help them make the transition. Don't let everyone hedge their bets against this person, whether they're going to make it or not. It's not, it's not fair. It's fun, but it's not fair, right? So stack the deck for them. Help them out. That's how you can now excel at that person's leadership style, at getting them to a leadership style that is theirs, where they understand what they're responsible for. And the benefits of all this, I love always highlighting that. Guess what develops through the team, their direct reports themselves? Trust, right? It's another way to build trust. They trust you because you help them in this transition. They feel good, they feel confident. The team that now is reporting to that person trusts the process because they kind of know it's set up for success, and they can feel that this person feels good and they're interacting in a way that is positive, and excitement prevails rather than kind of frustration and recoil because you're like, oh God, I'm not sure why this person is so angry that I don't understand, right? All that weird stuff that can happen when it's not tended to the right way, you fixed it. And now you have even the benefit of the benefit, which is trust. And things will be able to happen smoother, faster, and you'll be able to really double down on that person's strengths. You'll be able to teach them leadership. They'll have a good taste in their mouth. They'll feel confident and proud, and they'll be able to lead your team and help everyone crack the code on how to be great at the job that they were doing and cultivate that environment, because that now comes first. All right. Love you guys. Best of luck. Really, I want you to be able to capitalize on your top performers and really take it to the next level, and not be, thwarted in the process by making assumptions that just because they're naturally good at A doesn't mean they're going to be naturally good at leading. You need that transition, honor that transition, grab a hold of that transition, and work with them through it. And, kudos. It'll be awesome. I guarantee it'll be so, so awesome. I'll be so happy for you. Love you guys. Have a great day today. And always reach out, Karen at KarenDanielle.com. Always love to hear your wins and losses, whatever they are.